Well, we got part two going. I had my video cut off because I'm mismanaging my storage on my secondary phone. This seems to be something I see in other content creators that are like me that are using their phones to try to talk to the world. So let's get back into the Pacers. Pacers game three of the 2025 NBA championship. And I am very excited about it. If I'm going to prognosticate, I would say for the Pacers to win, and I think that they will, they need to have a big lead and basically just dominate the whole game. We have not had that happen yet. Both games that we played prior to this, we basically were getting dominated except for one stretch where we got kind of on a hot streak. But I think that we can play, and if the game's played our way, we have the capability of blowing them out. So I think it's important that we actually do that in game three if we want to win this championship. We need to assess, we need to replay dominance here that says we split and now we're going to hold home court and it's not going to be close. So you guys better just prepare for the next two games of us dancing around and laughing at you, and then hope that you can go back and win at home and push it to another game. And then maybe game six will be interesting. That's what we need to do. And I think for that to be done, Halliburton has to start out hot because there's been this big thing about him not starting out the game. So they're definitely going to probably try to get him going early with some easy inside shots and some drives, I would say, some ISO. Look at me talking like a coach. And then I would say Siakam, just in the reality of it, needs to score 30 during the game, because he's very critical in the flow situations where we need a score. And I think that he needs to try to stay away from shooting threes if I got to talk to the coach. So that's kind of my take on the Pacers. They're playing great defense. They've got a lot of great players, and other great players are going to have to contribute also. It's not like that's not the whole game. But I think if those two things happen in the flow of the game, because of the narratives, we win with a pretty impressive fashion. Like if we get 30 out of Halliburton and 30 out of Siakam, and then like all the rest of everybody else plays well, I think that we win by 20 and rest guys in the fourth quarter. So that's what we're hoping for in game three tonight. And I'm going to just watch that at my house. Back to this girl and my being a wuss and not saying, hey, you want to go get a cup of coffee? First of all, I literally had zero money in my account. And I had $20 in my wallet, which would have been cute. It would be a great story, but it's really unlikely that anything's going to happen from that. So I really just need to keep myself. And this woman might not even be interested in me at all. Like this might not even be in the realm of possibility for her. I could totally be Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber. And I'm aware of that. Like I said, this woman probably has this effect on pretty much any single man that gets around her. So how does she deal with that? But you always hear that story of the really pretty girls that are alone because nobody's got the courage to ask. But I don't know. I think a girl like that, a girl my age, is going to be done with life enough to be like, I'm not wasting time. So if she had some interest, I think she would let me know. And so that's what I'm kind of sitting around. And you shouldn't be sitting around waiting for her to let you know. You just live your life the way you're living it. And I'm enjoying the fact that I get to be near her, honestly. And I think it's nice just to get to see. She has a very pretty smile and a very nice way about her. And just being able to get to say hi is kind of cool, good for me. I did have a point a couple week ago where somebody said that a girl was sitting next to me. They were just being like manipulative, but they told me that I looked good sitting next to this girl, or we look good together. And there is something to that. Like a man has just so much more credibility with a woman of any kind, shape, or fashion. If he's a successful relationship, if he's got someone on his arm that's saying I vouch for him, and I've seen all of it, that makes a big difference in like your life. And if you don't have that, then I just think you have a, especially men have a, no, both, it's not fair to say just men, but there is a masculinity thing. Anyways, so when you're alone, you just have a credibility issue. So I don't have much credibility as far as my status as being somebody that other women or any woman on this earth would vouch for. And I also don't have a great job. I mean, it's not a bad job. I have a job, a job, and I think that's important. And I think I'm valued. So um, I'm moving in a positive direction, is all I can say. And I am in a very difficult spot. So let's say I've misread, and this girl is just a beautiful girl that likes to make everyone feel welcome. She smiles at everyone. Part of the reason why I'm attracted to her is because she is so pleasant around others. She could have almost any single man that she wanted, whether she knows it or not. But usually, you know, kind of, if you're somebody that is that way. And but you're not doing it to get attention in that way. You're just doing it because that's the way that you are. So then you have this lady that is just that way. And then you have me that doesn't get smiled at that often because of my way of living life, I guess. I don't know. I get smiled at. I carry some weird stuff with me in my life that I just have to, I don't have to tell anybody about, but if I got to know them, they would find out and I'd have to explain. But I feel a connection with her and she feels a connection with everyone. What if that's the case? And why make anything uncomfortable for her? She's just trying to enjoy her life. So if I come in and I'm like, hey, hey, and she's like, no, dude, I wasn't trying to do that. And then for the rest of that time, she's probably fully capable of not letting that be uncomfortable as long as I don't make it uncomfortable. But I do have to deal with that. But I don't think, is that the fear? I guess is that I don't want to have to me feel awkward. It's not really about her awkwardness that I'm actually trying to make myself feel like I'm trying to prevent. Because I doubt that she would really feel that awkward if I'm like, because I would do it in a nice way. I'd be like, hey, I don't know how to do it actually. Maybe that's why I haven't. I got nothing to give. I'm like, got zero here, but you're kind of cool and you seem very nice. And I'm sure you're nice to everybody. But if you wanted to be nice around me, I'd really be willing to do whatever you want to do, whatever. I'll try it. As long as you like me around, I'll keep coming around. I'll try not to be burdensome. Is that the kind of relationship you want to be? Just let me poke around, and as long as I don't get, I'll try not to get in any trouble. I don't like getting yelled at. I'm not a big fan. I think she'd let me know if she was interested. But I have this thing that I'm a coward, and a woman likes a man that's confident, and maybe if she even wants me to ask, and I'm too big of a chicken, whatever. I am trying to do the best for everybody around me. So I've been praying for guidance. I've been asking for help. That when I pray, I'm like, now that this girl has, and we barely have even spoken. So like, I'm overplaying all of this. It's so literal. It's so little that I've had people in my life that I have had interest in, that there was opportunity, that I'm really overplaying something that is probably very innocent. But I have been praying for, I'm thinking of her, and I'm praying for guidance on how I should try to approach. If it's something that should be for either of us. If I'm not, maybe I would be a burden. I do not want to be a burden to anyone. That's one thing. And especially somebody that's looks to be really doing better than I am at spreading goodwill. So I'm honestly just trying. I've become infatuated, a little infatuated, and I am very unworthy. So what I've been asking for is my worthiness. I'm not to say that I'm not capable of being worthy. I am worthy. It's a very difficult position that I'm in. I have not very much status. I'm very poor. I have limited prospects, and I'm unsure. I don't have a lot of stability. I literally I am not a hot commodity. Even though I think that you line me up against 10, 50-year-old men in like a dating game kind of situation, if we're just going on physical appearance, I'm not an A. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I'm an A minus. I'm an A minus. I think I'm an A minus. Maybe I'm a little bit heavy on myself. My teeth are some issues, but if you dress me up and polish me the good as I can look, I think you line me up in 10. Yeah, I'm not an A minus because there's some good looking men running around. I'm at the YMCA. I know what I'm looking at. I am a C plus. I think I could be B minus status. I'm getting closer to B minus. If I started playing golf and doing it well, I think I could move up to B pretty quick. That's my best angle, I think. If I could start making putts and start getting that Clarky golf swagger, there's potential that somehow I could move up the list. Where are we at? How can I explain the fact that I'm estranged from my children to a woman that's raising children probably on her own? I don't even know. Or in a great situation where she's got a good man that she's split from, or who knows, whatever, and he's still stepping up the plate because I'm in a bad situation. I've got this old car. I've got a job that's entry level for a 50-year-old man. And I'm, in a different town from my kids that I literally had to take a bus to go see my daughter's graduation. And that's the truth. I'm a stranger and my story has two sides. So both end up with me 4.5 hours drive from my kids in a low-level, limited earning growth job, a 25-year-old car with bad brakes, and a couple of cats. Living paycheck to paycheck, literally, with no swings, like in a pretty good amount of debt. What's this no swings? I don't know what I mean. I have no swings. I got plenty of swings. I got plenty of swings left. I just haven't hit the ball very much. And I have debt, not really a lot of debt per se. I have hardship. I have some things that I need to overcome. Not that much. Some capital would help a lot. And my family basically said that I lost it. Like the narrative about me, where I'm at right now, is because according to a narrative that I say is false, but all of this was a result of mental illness on my part, failure to adapt and address my own mental illness. And I think the narrative is basically that I self-medicated with a drug addiction to marijuana. And because of those things, my life basically fell apart. And I was no longer able to be a stable father because of those things. Which, if you look at the numbers, it is more of a financial hardship is the reasoning for why I got into the situation that I was. There were poor decisions made in difficult circumstances, though. So I still stand on the fact that I was mistreated. But it is what it is. I don't really care. I wish that I could make amends, and I'm trying to. So I'm trying to find a way to make that happen. And so what is the truth? I'm this guy right here that's still standing up. I truly am, after all the things that I've been through in doing these videos, I can say with confidence, mind, body, and soul, I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm like a hidden gem out here. I know my worth. Here is the problem. Even if I overcome my shortcomings, all of this financial burden with this girl, I still have very non-conforming beliefs that I do not want to hide from someone that I would really be trying to become truly intimate with. So the pool of women that I could even get to the same alignment, it's very small, that I think I could find happiness in. Because one thing I do not want to do ever again is when I have a home set, I want to be me when I get home. I want to be the master of my domain. And that doesn't mean that I'm overpowering someone else if I get with them. It means that we come into an understanding together that we are both in a union. And it's just different than what it seems to be, or what I found. So this is going to be long, I guess. We're about done. We have 2 pages left. So I'm going to allow myself to be around this beautiful girl. I'm kind of smitten, but I am going to allow her to know that I am interested in a way that's not blatant. I've been around the block well enough to know that there's little things that I can do to let her know that I'm interested. And wait for the right timing, though. And I haven't had the right timing yet. So I'm not going to beat myself up about it just because in past I have been too aggressive or not aggressive enough in different moments. Doesn't mean that that has really any effect of the moments that I'm currently in. I've used that as my wisdom. Boy, I thought this cut out again. I need to try to wrap this video up. These are getting so long. I'm just trying to walk through this because I've been praying for this beautiful, not beautiful. Beautiful isn't even that important to me, but it is, because I'm trying to be beautiful too. And I just want to be beautiful with somebody else that's fun to be beautiful, regardless of where you're at as far as just doing the best with what you have. I like that. I like putting your best into what you have. And the consistency that you see with somebody is enjoyable. So that's all I'm trying to do is spend time with her in any capacity while I'm doing things that I'm already trying to do anyways, and let the chips fall where they may. Effort, what is meant to be, I'm going to try to let faith and fate have its hand in play. I'm not going to manifest something that shouldn't be, but if it should be, I want it to be allowed to be. So somehow allow me to be able to explain to this beautiful person that I am worthy of a hand, not a hand to help, but just a hand to hold. And I'm available and I'm interested in getting to know her and having the opportunity to spend time with her in any capacity. But I'm really weird. So you should only do it if you really think it might be worth the time. I think time is really important. If somebody gives you time, then you should use that with the best intent. I've never gotten, one thing about my life though is I've been in solitude. I was married. It was a very strange marriage, and the way that it all kind of went down and how I became married. So I did have a girl, but I've never really gotten the girl. Like if there's ever been any kind of a triangle situation where 2 guys were going, and that's happened a few different times in my life, I was always like, I was the second thought. Because I usually have had really good friends I was usually second class to somebody that was just a little better version of me. or just, I don't know. I feel like I've always been playing in a class that I really wasn't a part of in my life. So I've been like overachieving status, but underachieving, like, I don't know what I would say commitment would be the best way. Because if you really want to be a high-end person, you really have to be committed to excellence. And I get lazy, and I don't follow through as well. And I'm stubborn, and I am self-righteous. I get committed, and sometimes that makes me feel superior, and that probably comes off in ways sometimes. But what I have found is that I've had very few women in my life that made me feel very special. Like most of the women in my life made me feel like I was nice to be around. But as far as making me feel like I was really special. My mom, however, made me feel more special than I am. And because of that, she made up for every other lady that's crossed paths with me that did not make me feel very special. Even though the entire world has shown me that I am not very special, I honestly think these videos are pretty awesome. It's helped me kind of go through all of this, and it's free for anybody that wants to watch. There's some good stuff. I know when I've done some good things, and I think in this video format that I have, there's been some very good things that I've discussed. And I think that if it stays up for a long time, people will come back and watch some of these videos, and I think that they might make impacts on people one day or another. And there's a ton of them, so whatever. And I think maybe my song reaches people sometimes when they need it. So I say, fuck them. If you don't like it, if you don't like my swag, this is how I am. Fuck it. New day to start. This is what I'm doing. It's a strawberry moon tonight. I literally have my rocks out on a pedestal under the moon with candles lit. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I put rose petals with them too because I have roses. And I'm just using stuff that I have around. I think it's about intent. I ring my bells. I set my intent for the new cycle of the moon that we're going to be having. It's in Sagittarius. I've been trying to learn about that and trying to understand it to the best of my abilities. So like I said, to all the people that think that I'm just whatever I am, reckless, I do want to, I've been engaging more. I don't want to get into personal stuff. I have a lot of things I still have to make up for. I know that. And I'm trying to find ways to do that. But I can only do so much where I'm at. And I can only do so much with the funds that I have. But I am grateful. I'm very grateful. I am right now in this moment. I have a certain amount of money, and that's enough money for me to make moves that could turn into more prosperous situations. I have seed money. If you treat your money like it's seeds, then you can start to really develop. So what you have to do is pay everything that you have to pay to keep your life afloat. And then anything you have left over, you try to, you have to figure out the flow between those two things. And the hard part about my position is I've had these weird transitions in my life where I get into these statuses where I don't know what my income is. So I can't figure out how to output if I don't know my income, and I can't really figure out what to invest because I don't know what my income is to cover my output. That's kind of where we're at. So I am trying to figure that out, and I got a good answer today of what it is going to be somewhat. I got my first month at the new situation under my belt, and I didn't do very well, and I missed the biggest weekend, one of the biggest weekends of the year. So at least I have some kind of an idea. I've been trying hard. I'll just keep doing that. So I feel confident about that. I'm charging my rocks. It's a new day to start. So I feel good. I feel good. I don't know. I'm just trying to really get myself set up to move forward with my life. I'm going to try to do some kickboxing tonight. I'm doing kickboxing with a bunch of girls and 2 Asian guys that don't speak English. Or I think they're Korean. And they come in and they do the same thing that I'm doing. And then there was one, the best way to say it is a gentleman on the spectrum, a middle-aged, probably 25, 27-ish, old young man that was kicking, and he was obviously mentally in a different spectrum than everyone else. So he was very polite, and but obviously I'm going to this place because of this girl, and she probably knows that I'm going to the kickboxing class because of her, because I'm pretty corny there, we do some girly kind of things in the kickboxing while I'm a guy in the middle with a bunch of girls, and I'm like, all right, I'll do it, whatever. But I am learning, and I don't have to feel like the anxiety of guys like, you pussy. Whatever. I am. Whatever. Try me, though. You want to go? Let's do it. I think I can handle most people. Not most people. I mean, if you stand me up in a group of 10, where would I handle that? Where do I think? So I'm going to say, let's put me up against, since we're in long time now video, let's put me up in my status of myself. Top 10 men, I'd say, just on appearance for likability to the sexuality of women, I would say I'm 6. I think I'd settle in about 6.5, which is basically where I started. I think I could get to like 8 if I keep working on my upper body. I could be to an 8. I'm like 6.5 now. I could be 8. You'd have to have really stuff done. My face, I don't think the pits, and my hair definitely. So I think 8 would be the max. 7.5 may be my max, actually. Now that but you scale me at 50-year-olds? I don't know. There's a lot of people like me that have really tried to hone in on their health. So yeah, I think 6.5, and potentially my max is 7.5, unless cosmetic surgery came into play. So, and then on fighting, let's get into the fights. I'm probably 3, maybe 4. There's about 2 people I could take down and not have any problem with. And then the third one, me and him would probably go at it, and we'd both get tired. Because I don't think I can handle, the really strong people, you're done. Anybody that's got leverage on you. I'm squirrely. 4, I'm not tough. I'm not tough at all. I would say 3. I could get to 6.5 or 7. 7.5 if I really beefed up, and I'd have to like get some martial arts going. I think I could. I've got a strong. I could get there. I'm not like a killer, though. I don't know that I want to kill you. I'd really just like to put you to sleep, and then when you wake up, I'd be like, "Are you done now, or do you want to go again?" I think that's how I think they call. I forget what it's called. Anyways, that's what I'm getting. Jitsu, whatever. That's a bunch of gibberish at the end. I don't know what I'm doing around here in this world, but that's, if this girl watched this video, this is just knight in shining armor, baby. I'm glad you came along. Have a great day. Do great. Be great. Be grateful.